My name is Shanay Reed. I'm a member of Dudley Promise Corps. But before that, I was just a Roxbury kid. I grew up on Mount Pleasant with my cousins. Last year, I worked here at Dudley Street. I was part of the after-school staff. It wasn't my first time working in schools or working with kids, but it was the first time that I was really challenged. It was because it was the first time I was in a room with 22 different versions of myself. Considering we're all from the same neighborhood, we can relate so well. I spent a lot of my time trying to bond and relate and build relationships with my students. I really wanted to make an impact, but I had no idea how they would impact me. I have this student, his name is Jalen Johnson. He's what I like to call a too cool for school kind of kid. So, for example, I would say, okay guys, today we're gonna do our independent reading, and I look around, everyone's grabbing their books and they're so excited. I look over to Jalen and he's just like, and I'm like, okay Jalen, like, aren't you excited to read your book? And he's like, nah. And I'm just like, what do I say to that? Like, nah, like, what does that even mean? So I'm like, Jalen, why are you not excited to read your book? And he's like, well, you know, it's boring, I don't really care. I'm like, don't you want to get smart? He's like, nah. I'm like, okay. So I would have to sit next to him every day in class, sit right next to him, and really practice sounding out techniques and things like that, and really try to get him focused on reading his book. So one day he comes up to me, and we're doing choice, which is like you get to play. You don't really have to do reading. You know, it's that time to take a break, you know, relax. They work hard all day. And he goes, Miss Reed, can I read to you? I'm like, this is a prank, right? It's not real. You can play with toys right now? You want to read to me? So I'm like, of course. So I sit next to him, and he reads to me Green Eggs and Ham, word for word, fluent, using the techniques that I taught him. And I thought, wow, this is my aha moment. Like I feel like I made an impact, and he made an impact, and I'm making a change, and this is amazing. You know, these kind of things happen every day. With all I could say to him was thank you. When the opportunity of DPC came up to me, I knew I would be here. I knew I'd be back here at the school. I can never forget the relationships that I built with my kids. Being a DPC member this year, and a BPC member this year, has been fun, exhausting, frustrating, overwhelming, amazing. It's like climbing a mountain. You know, you look ahead of you, you see so much work that needs to be done, but then you look behind you, you see the progress that you've made, and you're like, you know, wow, this is something amazing. Boston Promise Corps, we have a saying. We say, keep the promise. To me, keep the promise means being able to look forward with the thought of progress in mind so that we can climb the mountain every day. Thank you.
Morning, everybody. Morning. How's everything? Good? I guess. So my name's Arjun Collins, and I'm part of the Boston Teacher Residency and overall the Boston Promise Corps. So, you know, many of my cohort members, you know, they applied to BTR knowing they wanted to teach. They came into the program with the passion and instinct, really, to teach and to enlighten students specifically, and to give students what they knew they themselves had been given, which was a quality education. So I was given a quality education as well, brilliant education. But, you know, I never really imagined or aspired to be a teacher, to be honest. You know, by profession, I never really knew I'd be a teacher. And for this reason, it's really difficult for me to give a plain answer when I'm asked what led me here to teach. So I'd say I was presented with the opportunity, a fantastic opportunity, no doubt, and I joined the program. But it wasn't that my dreams were being recognized or anything like that, you know? However, you know, when I think about it, there's definitely something very magnificent about being here, about me being here and all of us being here. For me, you know, it's something magnificent about me kind of unmagnificently riding a bike just a mile up the road to the Jeremiah E. Burke where I teach, you know. I grew up right down the road in Roxbury, on Dale Street actually. And I think only one of my colleagues know this, but I grew up in the house that Malcolm X grew up in. And, you know, Malcolm X was my great uncle. He was the brother to my grandmother, Ella Little Collins, who, before losing both her legs to gangrene, actually, she raised Malcolm in his teen years to his adult years, and nurtured the bodies, minds, and spirits of so many people in this community, outside this community, around the world, in the country. And, some of those people lived, died, and strived right here, and she was there for them. So if I could claim any kind of destiny or any kind of knowledge of why I'm here exactly, it would have to be, and I'd have to attribute it to that blood. That blood, and a combination of that blood and the blood from my mother's side. The inheritance from my India side, where the word guru means teacher. Guru means teacher in India. So, this year has been very difficult for me, and I know, working with everybody, that it's so difficult for everybody else. What we're trying to do is, it's very, very tough. I talk to them all the time, and everybody say, we're working so hard, and we're tired, we don't sleep like we used to, and but regardless of how much work we're doing, life's good. We live good. Life's beautiful regardless, right? And it's even better when you really know what you're doing. So, here we all are, kind of in service, learning to teach. And it's just a beautiful thing. I'm glad we get to do it together. So, thank you.
Thank you guys. And